Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Wednesday, January the 25th, race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. We're going 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Let's take a look at this field of allowance runners. It's a now winners of 3 life. Head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com, download those 3 Formulator past performances, and follow along with us as we take you in post position order. The number 1 is Soluble, winner last time out. The problem was that was July 16th.
I like the way he did it, though. I know he was out there, and I know it was a pretty cushy lead, but boy, once Angel Cruz got into him, he leveled off, finished like a good thing. The bigger concern becomes 2 and 3 starts back, which at this stage was a long time ago. What was the real excuse? The North American debut, I suppose, because it was a long layoff, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't pick his feet up 2 starts back. He was late with the lead change. There's a part of me that wonders if he's not quite this good. I like the horse, but I just don't know if he's ready for this.
Beat a couple of next out winners in that race at Laurel, but as we're going to talk about in a little bit, there appears to be speed in this race. He went gate to wire last time out. Now, he draws a good inside post position. I wonder if Julian Leproux is just going to break, expect the speed to show up, and try to save as much ground while staying as close as possible.
Like you said, I mean, the biggest thing going for him is the fact that you break from the inside going 7.5, the rail's out at 12 feet. That run into the first turn at 7.5 on the weeds is basically immediate. That's only a positive to be down there.
Todd Pletcher trains the 2. Todd Pletcher trains the 3. We'll begin with Gimlet. Both of these horses, Gimlet and Stockyard, come out of the Tropical Park Derby. Gimlet finished better, 4th. Stockyard was 7th. Stockyard is a horse that likes to be closer to the pace. I think we kind of seen his best races. His turf races are all sort of 81 through 86. Gimlet's the one that's going to get the pace. I just didn't love the way he finished last time out. He was wide, though, from midway to the far turn and then floated into the grandstand, turning into the stretch.
Yeah, he was wide throughout. There's no denying that. If you're someone that's big into ground loss, then this is going to be a horse that you're interested in. I agree with you. I didn't love the way that he finished, and maybe this is just kind of something that's sticking with me. I didn't like this horse early on as a 3-year-old last year either. He was gone for a long, long time. That run at Gulfstream West, he was just a mile the best because he had bad traffic on the far turn and still won by 100. Look, would it be a surprise if this horse ran well? No, I think he's going to come with a run, but he's not one for me. I got to be honest, of the 2, if there wasn't so much speed signed on in this race, I'd be a little bit interested in Stockyard because I thought he got his goose cooked up on the front end in that Tropical Park. Gimlet is probably the more likely of the 2. I don't like either one.
I wonder if Todd's still trying to figure out where Gimlet fits, because when you saw him last year at Gulfstream, it looked like, boy, the further the better for him. They've always started him. Every race has been a 2-turn start. You would think a mile and an eighth. Now, he won that Gulfstream Park West race at a mile 2 back, but as you said, he was just so much the best. Maybe Todd thinks his kick is better served at shorter distances. I think 7.5 is a little short for this horse. As for Stockyard, you're a little bit more bullish on him than I am. He just is sort of even to me, but perhaps he's getting better. He's a son of the good Scat Daddy. The number 4 is Light the Night. Blinkers on, stretching out from 5 furlongs to this 2-turn 7.5 furlongs. He figures to be more forwardly placed.
It certainly does on the stretch out. I didn't like how late he was to change leads most recently. It wasn't like it was, a disaster. He was just a little bit late. There's a part of me, you just go through and look at his overall body. He's tried 2 turns on 2 different occasions. Both of them, I know one of them he only lost by a nose, but that was against Florida Breds. I just don't think that distance is his friend.
Yeah, you mentioned you stakes placed at a mile, but that was a Florida bred racer. He was the favorite, and you had to be a little bit disappointed. He didn't get it done. I've never liked this horse. I think distance won't be an issue at the 7.5, but to me, he seems like the kind of horse that needs everything to go his own way, and you think he's going to be forwardly placed in this race, and there does look like a lot of speed. As our Timeform US pace projector shows us, we're expecting a little barbecue in here. A fast pace, and the number 5, Bobcat, racing around 2 turns for the first time in our Formulator Race of the Day. The good folks at Timeform US project him to be setting that fast pace.
Yeah, I think that's a logical way of looking at it. He's going to stretch out from the dirt. He's going to go to the turf only for the second time. First time going 2 turns. On paper right now, he's just simply not good enough. But boy, he can make things very, very difficult for a lot of these other horses that like to be forward.
He's going to be forward, if not outright on the lead. But there are some distance questions. He's only raced once since June. That was in November. It seems like there's always a layoff line with this horse, who started his career on dirt like a good one, wins his first 2 starts, and then he shows up on turf in that turf sprint in a field full of dirt horses, and he just didn't do much. So we've got surface and distance questions to address, and also a pace scenario that might be a little bit too fast for his liking. Beneficiary, if he does run in this race, it would be coming back on 4 days rest. Let's be honest, he was just simply overmatched last time.
He was, and I'm not trying to be rude. He's overmatched in this spot as well. He fits better here than he did in the Sunshine Millions turf, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's as good. good.
Now, if you believe the pace is going to be electric, as the folks at Timeform US do, why not Moonjaz? This is a horse on a little bit of a losing streak, but you thought he moved a bit too soon last time out, and that was a good field. Bala Rocks came back to win with a 94 buyer. He's won 3 in a row, that horse, in 4 out of his last 5.
I thought it was a peculiar, I don't know that I want to say peculiar ride from Joe Bravo. I don't know if that was, I wonder if it was just a matter of the horse going up, because this horse was toward the back of the pack. He was out widest of all. And down the backside, he took off, and he went up to the point where he was pressing the pace going into the far turn. He made his move. He flattened out a little bit down the lane. I think it's much better than it looks on paper. You can figure there's going to be a forward move second off the bench. The concern I have, and when I first was going through this race, I said, well, he's a logical contender, and I still think he is. Isn't he kind of hard to trust?
He's very hard to trust because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races in a row that he's lost.
And he takes money.
From a fig standpoint, he's capable of running that 90 buyer speed figure. He's going to get pace. You could argue he's taking a hidden class drop in here. There are a lot of things to like, except, as you say, the price, and that he's not very trustworthy. Semblance of Order is the number 8. This horse just missed most recently. Most recently was April the 21st. This is a very long layoff to deal with, and I'm not sure what we're going to get off the bench.
Yeah, agreed. You know, Jenna Antonucci, I like what she does, but over the past 5 years, 180-day layoff or greater, one for 28 with a 21-cent ROI. I didn't think the most recent start was terrible. I would have liked to have seen him actually get the job done. He was in between horses for a little bit, but I think he's okay. I think he gets a decent setup. I just don't know what we're going to get.
He needed a race off a similar layoff last year, did his best second back. Maybe we'll see that pattern emerge one more time. He did finish ahead of Coping Away in that last race. He came back to finish 3rd with an 81 and then won a little stakes race with an 87. Cronan the Barbarian, Luck of the Kitten. Let's take a look at our top 2 picks for our formulator race of the day. Tell us about Cronan the Barbarian, because it's been a long time between drinks. Hasn't won since he won a stake in 2014.
Yeah, it's been a very, very long time. I guess I just look at this horse, and it really, for both of us, it starts with the most recent start, and that was at Turfway Park. That was over the synthetic. We talked about it in a race on Saturday on DRF Live. It was some sort of crazy storm, whether it was ice, whether it was snow, whatever it may have been. Cronan the Barbarian never picked his feet up that day. 2 starts back, it looks like he never picked his feet up. Probably because he was way overmatched. He was in the Grade 3 River City. Probably not that good. 3 starts back at Churchill Downs. He's slow out of the gate. He's pinched back. He's all the way at the rear. If you watch that race, turning for home, he has absolutely nowhere to go. I'm convinced if he gets into the clear, he at least threatens to win. I know it's his 7th beaten by 2. How good could that field have been? I think he was much better than it looks on paper. And then you're left with the Keeneland race 4-back. I get it that he didn't quite get the Bondurant, but he was a nice up-and-coming 3-year-old. He got the better of Luck of the Kitten, just by a neck, just quite got there. George Weaver, first time off the trainer switch. You've got a whole bunch of different formulator facts, 2 of them positive, 1 negative that I went through. The blinkers come off. I just think with the pace scenario, this horse is better than he's shown anyway in the past couple of races, and maybe he's just way off form. It's entirely possible.
He's run well without blinkers. Maybe the key is just actually getting the blinkers off. The last time he raced without blinkers, he was 2nd in a stakes race, the Paradise Creek, and he does have back class. He's run well at Gulfstream, and he figures to get some pace.
He should get a
He's going to be a price as well. Yeah. 10-1 on the morning line. Paco Lopez named. I went with Luck of the Kitten. As we saw in the Timeform US pace projector, we expect a fast pace, but they had Luck of the Kitten sitting just outside in 2nd or 3rd. If you're dubious about Bobcat's ability to get the distance, get the surface, and class up with these horses, there's a chance that Luck of the Kitten makes the first run into this hot pace, takes over, and then you start screaming, "Stay there!" at about the 3/16 pole. This horse has back class. I mean, he was 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf a long, long time ago.
He ran awesome that day.
He ran great that day, and maybe he's needed several starts to get back to his best form. I like the slight cutback in distance. In that Prairie Bayou, I thought he ran the best race because he put another pace horse into the dirt and then kept right on going and just got beat by Dak, who got the best setup. Enterprising, who ran 3rd, came back, ran a good 2nd in the Sunshine Millions Turf last week with a 94 buyer. So I'm hoping Luck of the Kitten trips out a little bit just off the pace. Now, his best races have come when on the lead. I don't think he's making the lead here, neither do the Timeform US folks. But I think the trip will actually work out for him. Stalking, pouncing, and then praying.
Particularly if he just inherits the thing, where you're not worried about actually going and getting someone. If that one in front of you just stops and you inherit it, then you know what, you've got a big chance in here. He has the highest last out Timeform US rating with a 118, highest last out buyer with a 92. Synthetic certainly, but you know what? Good thing is Wesley Ward has done this in the past. Synth the turf, not a big deal. You know what? Similarly to Cronan the Barbarian, feel like it's been a long time between drinks for both of our horses,
sure.
which is why I don't want anything too short. And the other fear that I have is that Luck of the Kitten takes much more money than the 9-2 morning line would suggest. I won't be surprised if he goes off co-favorite in here with Gimlet.
I don't want him if he's the co-favorite. 9, 7, 2, 10 for Matt, 10-2 for me in our formulator race of the day. If you are playing the Gulfstream Wednesday card from home, we've got a newish deal for DRF Bets members. $300 sign-up bonus is a good newish deal. DRF.com/trifecta. Join DRF Bets for a huge, and when we mean huge, we mean $300 sign-up bonus. Approximate post time for race number 9 at Gulfstream Park on Wednesday, 4:32 Eastern. Good luck.